Hey, I promise it's not just me. Ed's doing a tour around the building. Oh wait, there he is. Welcome to the show.
Hey, welcome live from the Fish Hippie showroom at Old North State Winery. Yes, we are doing our virtual tasting. We do it here live every Thursday, and we're doing this late on a Wednesday night.
Yeah,
No, we've
I think it's well, I think we did at the chef's table one night late
yeah.
with Ben.
We can't. Oh God,
Yeah,
that was a classic.
That was.
We can't be held responsible for anything we say tonight.
My feet hurt.
How's your liver?
Dry.
Find that hard to believe, but here we go. So every Thursday night in person, well, almost every Thursday night,
Thank you.
we taste 4 international wines and talk about them. And Chef Chris pairs beautiful food with them, and we get a better knowledge of the wine world so that we better understand why Yadkin Valley is special. Because you don't know why Yadkin Valley is Yadkin Valley unless you know all the wine regions. And we are going to start tonight on your virtual tasting in the Languedoc. And that is a pretty little label there. Beautiful blend. Sauvignon Blanc and Viognier. Not a typical blend. These grapes don't typically grow in the same regions except the Languedoc, because the Languedoc, as Chef knows, we've been loving the value of the southern part of France because they let you do what you want down there.
They do, and they're not Bordeaux.
That's
So,
right. Yeah. Yeah. This is,
immediate value, even
Yeah.
though it's the entire country's under vine.
that's true.
But the Burgundy and Bordeaux are taking everybody's money, and everybody else is getting the values.
They got a lot of my money, that's for sure.
Yeah, and they can keep it.
So this is Little Jane's Basket Press. It's a great offering of a great white wine value. Chef Chris and I have enjoyed their red of the same name, where they actually use a Solera system.
Great little number that wine is.
Yeah, that is, and so Chris kind of lit up when I told him that we were going to do this one, because we haven't dipped in these waters in probably 6-8 years.
It's been a minute.
So we want to look at the versatility of Languedoc as we continue to explore that area, and the freedom of not really having much restrictions on what you grow down there. You see a lot of creative stuff coming out of this area. This is a 50-50 blend, and it's amazing to me how chalky it smells. This reminds me of something I would smell up in the Loire.
The mineral is on the nose, but it's very tropical.
That it is, Chef. On the palate, it is incredibly tropical.
Papaya and honeysuckle and
Absolutely.
maybe some kiwi. I don't know.
Yeah, I totally agree with that assessment. If you've had something tropical, you're probably going to find it in this glass.
This is a real surprise.
Yeah. And
This is quite delicious.
And then once again, a sub 15.
I mean, not
very
a surprise
inexpensive.
for a little basket press. I just mean
That's true. Yeah.
the blend, the area. Wow.
Yep. And of course, St. Combe, the producer, is somebody that, well, Chris and I, we think the world of the producer. Chateauneuf du Pape.
Gigondas,
Yes.
Côte de Rhone, the
Oh.
elevated, the village level Côte de Rhone.
It's just, it goes on and
World
on.
class.
Yeah,
World class.
we feature their wines consistently at the chef's table because they're such great food wines, and they're higher end wines. They don't gouge you. I mean, you can get they're affordable high end wines, I would say.
Well, they're not run of the mill grocery store wines, so they do have an elevated price point, but
Yeah.
the value is outrageous.
Yeah, absolutely.
You would normally have to spend 3/4 more
Right.
to get the
I totally
the
agree.
equivalent.
Agreed. Yeah. And so St. Combe offers us this a beautiful everyday drinker, and it's structured. Like Chef said, it's tropical. There is minerality. There is decent amount of alcohol for sure.
Yeah, and the good alcohol, good acid. I mean, it's all working.
Yeah, this is a real treat.
It's a serious one.
This is something that everyone should just have a case of laying around because it checks so many boxes.
It really does, but this would easily show out at dinner too. I mean, it's not just a sipping wine. This
Well,
is
yeah, you can think cheeses, white meats, vegetables. It goes on and on.
absolutely. God, this is terrific.
Yeah, I love the finish on this as well.
Whoa.
Yeah, and my tongue's still prickling. It's like it just keeps going.
It keeps going and going. It's like the Energizer Bunny in the bottle.
Yeah. Well, Chef, what kind of pairing you plan on doing with this bad boy?
Well, I guess I got to do my part.
Yep.
We've got a great cheese. We've got the Danziger
Oh,
Chapel
this
Hill
is
Creamery.
this is a crowd pleaser.
Yeah, it's a
We
big,
probably sold more of this out the door than any other cheese.
it's a big time cheese.
This is the number one. Wouldn't you say it was probably the number one requested cheese?
That and the Green Hill.
Green Hill, yeah.
That and the Green Hill.
These two we've sold out the door more than any, I think. That rind.
That Rondo. And
Mhm.
that it doesn't really know what it wants to be. Because it's like it's brie. Well, of course it's not a croton. It's a square, but it's soft cheese. It's a soft fresh cheese like brie. But look at the color. It's not white. It has
Right.
a good
Yeah.
caramel to it that you don't normally associate with a brie or a soft cheese like this. And so I think the rind and what they brush it with really plays into that. And of
Yeah,
course,
beautiful rind on there. Beautiful golden color.
yeah, very gorgeous gold. And of course,
And that
playing off
nutty. Gosh, is it nutty?
and playing off that, we got a few cashews and a little marmalade to go with it because the brie style loves a little citrus and nuts and I just love that classic French combination there.
That is
It's a world class cheese.
Point on,
yeah.
Chef.
Yeah, a little nuttiness, a little orange, a little sweet.
Yep.
It goes great with the texture as well. I think that very important in the cheese world to have a complement to the texture. And I just love a lot of bries melt like butter. And this has a bit more structure to it. It's got a little chew for a soft cheese, which is great. And the cashews help to break that up a little bit, and the marmalade really sets this wine off. So it goes in the right direction.
Chef, and that orange marmalade really draws out the citrus notes in this wine. It's really amplified. That's a beautiful pairing. Well done for doing that blind too.
Yeah, well, they'll. You did give me a little sneak peek, but I didn't get to taste it. But,
That's part of the fun.
That is part of the fun. But I get lucky every now and then.
Every week. Chef, isn't it beautiful out there? We're looking over the.
Oh, and the Christmas decorations. It's at night. Everything's lit. I wish it would snow.
We're on the 4th floor of the winery and looking down over the beautiful lights and decorations of Mount
We
Airy.
can see, we can see the museum and Market Street,
Yep.
and the Lower Main here. It's a great time of year. Very festive. Nothing is as festive as your vehicle and your home, but the town is quietly trying to keep up.
Chef, when you texted me, said you're ready, and I'm sorry I didn't get right back to you.
Hanging up more lights.
Maybe. No, that was actually with my running group.
Oh yeah, it's Wednesday.
Yeah.
I have no idea what day it is.
But we're out running around in this cold weather.
And it was warm today,
It's so
but that
warm
sun
during
went
the day.
down, it just plummeted.
It's so warm
Yeah.
during the day, and then it hurts a little bit.
I went outside for a few minutes before you got here, and I hadn't been out because we had a party tonight downstairs, and I sent all the boys home, and I just did it by myself, and So I was busy on the line, and it was warm on the line with all that, all those sources of heat, and it was so pretty out earlier.
Yeah.
And I went out there. I was like, oh my God, what happened?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it dropped 30 degrees.
And yeah, it wouldn't be so bad if the weather would just pick a side.
Pick one. We're fine.
We're warm,
and you
we're
can
cold.
acclimate.
We're warm, we're
You
cold.
get
Yeah,
acclimated
can
to
we
either
get
one.
set into one temperature? That'd be great.
Well, and how many mornings in late November, early December was it 20?
Yeah.
And now it's 70.
It's stupid.
It
And
just goes
there's
back
really
and
no
forth.
end in sight.
No, and I was looking at the long-term forecast earlier. I probably should have done that. More schizophrenia.
Great.
I mean, it doesn't make any sense.
Well, you're at home watching this video.
Warm in front of a fire
Hopefully.
and your tree and your Christmas tree, hopefully.
Hopefully you are
In,
warm
in the
and toasted.
spirit. Because only an idiot would go out and run in it.
Oh,
I
wait.
mean, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah. So, and I also want to send out a thank you for all the positive messages I've been getting this week for the people that have been watching the videos. That's really great. Thank you all for the great feedback on the videos.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So I think we have people that are actually
Huh.
watching and listening because they must be bored out of their mind. I guess
Well,
their Netflix
Well,
subscription ran out.
and they've clearly watched it more than a few seconds because they've given you feedback.
Mm-hmm. But we do appreciate all that positive feedback. I actually had
It's pretty remarkable.
Chef. You're not gonna believe
What'd
this.
you lose? You didn't have your
A
wine
wine
tool.
tool.
I'll
I'm
go
gonna-
get it. You're a better talker.
I'm gonna gnaw this off with
I'll be right back.
my bare hands.
Hey, tell them about winning the costume contest at your 5K for the.
Oh boy,
You did the rosy cheeks,
that's right. We did the rosy cheeks.
and I believe you took home some loot
Oh, big
for
money.
the Nutcracker outfit.
Big money. So
I'll be
we
right back.
we had our big Rosy Cheeks 5K that we raised money here in Mount Airy, or money and toys really. Toys is what it's really about. It's toys for tots, and we always like to be involved in that. And anytime there's a run, most people in the running groups, I think it's kind of a understood thing that you just wear wacky Christmas stuff like ugly sweaters. You kind of overdo it. You're not necessarily wearing running garb. You're going beyond and wearing costume-ish stuff. And well, Lisa and I did just that. And of course, we were also running with the American flag because that's what Tommy and I do at most every single run that we're in. And on top of my ridiculous garb and running with the flag, somehow I was deemed the best costume, pardon me. And quite frankly, there was a lot of beautiful costumes out there. I did not think I had the best costume, but I do appreciate that. And I brought
It
home a
clearly
bag
made
of
an
it.
impression.
It made an impression, and actually, Chef Tommy and I were very fortunate enough to get in the paper again.
Again,
That
that flag, it's hard not to put you in it.
Well, Tommy is he's just a great leader in this community, and he's soft spoken, but he has principles that I believe in, and you're not going to see him getting political with anybody.
Oh, no,
but
it has nothing to do with that.
It has nothing to do with politics. It just has to do with
Thank goodness.
with believing in this town, this state, and this country. And I dig it, and I'm happy to run beside him with my flag. And we got another. Yet this is becoming on a regular. We don't do it to get in the paper, but we ended up in the newspaper once again, and it's a lot of fun. And
Well, that thing's heavy. That's
Yeah.
hard. It's hard to run with that.
yeah, he actually ran the whole half marathon last month that we had. And thanks for getting this show.
Every week before we do this, I ask you if you have
Every
your
time.
food. Every
Every
time.
time I have it.
But
except
tonight we were all kind of off because it's a different time and a different thing, so we didn't have our routine.
Well,
Thank you.
it gave me a chance to blather on some more.
Well, I think it's great. You should talk about that.
Well, this is a very French night, Chef. Oh, this is great. We're going to be in
cold Christmas night. Kind of,
yeah.
France.
So we're staying in southern France as well. So here we are in Cahors. Cahors is literally the last bastion of Malbec in France.
Holdout.
Yeah, it's the lone holdout that when you think Malbec in France, this is it, because that beautiful French grape is now pretty much dominantly served from Argentina. And, they do a great job.
A little bit in the Pacific Northwest.
Oh yeah,
but not predominant.
It's sprinkled all over the world. Don't get me wrong,
but not predominant.
Right.
Yeah.
It is actually a collaboration with Mr. Paul Hobbs, who you adore and I adore.
My guy.
We have, but I
love his South America stuff too.
Yeah.
I mean, you talk about a value.
We've had that Felino Malbec.
I've been serving that since the day it came out, and I drank an obscene amount of it at Trio. But I mean, it's just such a treat.
And you're not a Malbec drinker.
I know.
Generally speaking.
There's something about, I've been into them lately though.
But it has to be the right one. It has to be the right one.
When I find a Malbec I like, I tend to stay on it a while.
Lord, on that nose.
Cheers.
That is beauty.
Silky.
And the nose and the mouth
Silk.
and the palate are perfect. So we should expect that from Hobbs, because everything he does, even when he's in France.
You know, this guy, he just can't miss. I
Yeah,
mean, well,
seemingly.
it's not like he's...
he has a deeper understanding, I think, of wine.
and he will not do anything for fluff.
Yeah.
And when he finds an area, you better believe he knows what he can get out of it.
I wonder if he ever has like wine that just doesn't meet his standard, and they just like it disappears.
But he sells it
somewhere unattached to his name. Because you can't be this consistent. There's no way.
I guarantee you he sells it. And I also guarantee you a wine that Paul Hobbs doesn't like, still a damn fine wine.
I would probably agree.
And
with
it
that.
probably ends up in some of the wines blends we love.
Yeah.
But yeah, for sure. I mean, I think he's probably had some ventures where it didn't produce like he thought it would, or it was a different profile, and maybe he sold it. You know, who knows? But the man is. He knows what he's doing.
He's got a golden touch.
So
Cahors, if you don't know, is Malbec. It's going to be Malbec, and that just like when you think of the other great regions of France that have a determined a specific grape for that region, and this is it for Cahors. And this is, many of us just kind of, we want this region to do so well, and I'm so glad that there's been an American presence come in there and really pump in some success, I guess.
And awareness too.
And awareness.
You don't want it to just. You don't want it to fall off.
Right.
We love that other little wine you buy a lot of that Cahors. You've done it to tasting a time.
Oh yeah, the what was it?
It's got that old school
Yeah.
presentation on the label. But
Yep.
what you don't want is like and as good as that wine is. I mean that ain't gonna carry the flag.
No, it's not. Yeah.
You need Paul Hobbs and you need and this is very elegant and hip and but yet old school at the same time with the crest. But
Right.
this is the kind of thing that's going to keep you going.
I agree. And this is Malbec, really what I would consider at what I would consider expectations of what the grape can deliver, and it's not covered by French oak. It's not a vanilla
It's
bomb.
very clean, yeah.
This is not a vanilla bomb, and I think that's what a lot of people expect a lot of times from Malbec, because it's just oftentimes what I would consider oaked plus. Maybe I don't know if I want to say over oak, but it's
maybe Malbec accepts oak differently than other varietals.
Sure.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying that's what it is, but maybe more than not that is the case.
This is so plush.
Well, it's silky. I mean, Malbecs, aren't supposed to be this silky.
Yeah, it's lovely.
And I don't know. I mean, this is just way over the top for a French Malbec. I mean, this is not a blending grape. This is an elegant, high-end, stand on its own, beautiful wine.
Yeah, this is a great offering. Crocus is the offering, and like I said, Cahors is. Chris and I, like most wine people that are in the know, really root for this area because, Malbec was a Bordeaux varietal.
Well, yeah, I mean,
And after phylloxera, that was just really not
gone.
replanted. Yeah.
Yeah, they just
Pre-phylloxera, it was very available, and it was one of the many grapes that were in Bordeaux, and once the restart, when they hit the reset button because of phylloxera and had to replant, Malbec just wasn't part of that plan. And hey, Bordeaux's got it right. Don't get me wrong. They are doing amazing things. They're producing great wines. They don't have to be everything, but you hate to see a grape of this quality slip through the fingers of France as a country. And kudos to Argentina for seeing that. Hey, y'all are missing out on a great grape. We're going to take the reins, just like Uruguay is doing with Tannat.
Yeah.
It's wonderful to see these grapes that could possibly slip through the cracks they're having a resurgence.
Well, and I'll say it because I don't care. I think the French made a mistake. I'd rather have a blend of this Malbec and Cab than Merlot.
It's pretty nice.
I mean, I think a lot of the modern Bordeaux's are a shell of what they used to be. I don't think that I'm rooting for the Malbec.
Me too.
To make it. I would love to see it going back in blends and Bordeaux's because they need it.
Yeah, and
to be quite honest, I think they need it. I mean, this is absolutely stunning. I mean, this is a gorgeous wine, and I don't know. And why does Paul Hobbs have to go over there?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, these people are supposed to know their business, and we got to send Paul over there to set them straight.
Well, and we've seen one of the big things we've been talking about and featuring at the chef's table and at the wine tastings here on Thursday nights is those Bordeaux blends out of Argentina.
Oh.
Where Argentina's like, okay,
we got
not only are we going to take that Malbec, but that Cab Franc,
and we're going to remind you what you used to be.
Yeah.
And show you what you could be again.
Doing old school Bordeaux.
Old school Bordeaux.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, sometimes we forget where we came from.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's true in a lot of
that just creates opportunities for people that are willing to.
And I love it. That's why I will buy a Argentinian wine before I'll buy a Bordeaux any day of the week. Now that's not true of the Rhone and the other regions, but Bordeaux, I mean, they're dead to me. I mean, they're boring. They're the most boring wines in the world right now, if you ask me.
Yeah, they haven't really.
They bore me to death.
They haven't done enough to keep everybody interested.
Well, and not to be politically incorrect, but they don't have to be because they're selling they're
making plenty of money.
Southeast Asia and Asia and China are buying so much of that wealth.
Yeah.
Is buying all the Bordeaux's because there's still, it's a status symbol.
Yeah.
To have those wines.
Yeah.
And so there's flying off the shelves without any qualitative measure.
Yeah, you're right, absolutely right.
And that's where it's all going. It's all going east.
Yep.
And everybody else is like Argentina, South Africa, and just on and on and on. And
it's
it's
a great
just
point,
like,
Chef.
I mean, they don't. And
that's a really cool look at it. No, there's certainly truth behind that. We don't want to put a blanket on everybody, but generally speaking, there's a lot of truth in that.
Well, and the Rhone stuff that's not the case.
No.
They don't have the name recognition because they're more middle price points. The Chateauneufs,
but still compared
but like
to
somebody
Bordeaux,
who doesn't know wine, who has a bunch of money, is going to show a Bordeaux, not a Chateauneuf.
Yeah, and I agree. And even if you look at price points of Burgundy and Bordeaux compared Chateauneuf. I mean, Chateauneuf's
yeah.
are steel at $300.
Even the coat
Steel.
rotis.
Yeah,
aren't
coat
even
rotis.
competing
Steel
with
at
that. Yeah,
$400
steel.
or $500.
You
Yeah.
better believe it. You're gonna drop $3,000 on a high end burgundy or a
Or not even a high end.
was it?
I mean, the range is insane.
What is that? The Margot, the famous Margot
Oh,
house.
Chateau Margaux, yeah.
I mean, not just Margot, but I mean, is it Petrus? Anyway, I can't remember. But there's 2 or 3 houses
yeah.
in Margot where who cares?
Yeah,
It's all out the door. It's sold
Yeah,
before they
doesn't
buy. It's
matter.
not even a bottle. It's sold.
yeah, yeah.
They just
Yeah,
want
they're
that. They
actually-
want that label.
They're tasting barrel samples well before they're released and making judgments on that
Yeah.
for sure. All right, so Chef, we got this
Oh, yeah.
Malbec, and
So-
I'm hungry.
Should we have something Frenchy with this?
Hey, that makes sense.
Does that make sense? I'm sorry to do this because I know normally we do something nice.
Right, but
What?
not today. It's not nice.
No.
Is it peanut butter and jelly?
Well, all I had time to do.
Chicken tenders.
The only thing I had time for was to do a torchon of pheasant confit and foie gras with a jam of fig, cranberry, and balsamic. Sorry.
You might realize, or not, but this is worth
And pistachio
the cost of your package
by itself.
by itself. Thank you, Chef.
Anything for you, my friend. And our people at home.
Them peeps. We love them. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Ooh,
I'm
really
excited to see you try this. I hope it's as good as I think it is. I haven't. You're the first one to try this experiment.
You need to try it.
I will. I want you to enjoy it. I'll have my time.
Balanced. Chef is incredibly balanced.
Fat, lean, nuttiness from the pistachio.
There's an earthiness,
Mm.
but there's a
A lot of pepper in that.
holy
though.
cow. I'll be honest with you, I wasn't expecting this.
Were you expecting it to be heavier?
No, I was expecting like not this level of pate delivered.
Good. We love to be
I mean-
pleasantly surprised.
I could have given him a slice of cheese,
Well, I did.
slice of cheese,
I did.
or maybe a salami.
I did do a slice of cheese.
Oh my god, it's incredibly deep, rich.
Yeah, I mean that, and you
Nutty.
get so much more depth out of the confit and the pheasant, rather than because pheasant can be very chickenish. Even though it's not, it can be, and I find that the confit brings out the character of the pheasant, so it doesn't get washed out like in a sear or a grill or something like that. And then of course, foie gras makes the world go round. But I think the nuts are the key.
Wow,
The green, the nuttiness.
it's so clean though.
Yeah. But that's it's what we want. We want that with a clean wine. This is not a tannicky wine.
It is not. You're right.
It's a silky smooth wine. We don't want so we want to accentuate that. We don't want to try to compete with a big Tannenbaum. Oh, Tannenbaum. So now I see how I did that. Tied the holidays right in there. Yum yum.
Holy cow. You people are spoiled if you picked up this. Wow.
Spoilt rotten.
Well, Jeff.
Well,
you've got
our
one.
people are the great beneficiaries of a pretty special weekend we have coming up. So I decided to share the wealth with our special tasting folks.
We got a big chef's table coming up. Last weekend we had a 12 and a
20.
20.
It's our largest weekend yet of chef tables.
and
I've never done. I mean, we've never done that many people in a weekend. We've had
intense.
one night of like 20 some before.
Yeah,
But we've never done that many back to back.
it was intense.
It was incredibly intense.
And it was
both
we
nights.
had people from all over all over. It was crazy.
It's crazy.
We had someone that actually did the chef's table the week before, and this was their 13th visit.
Their 13th chef table.
The Smiths.
And they went back to back. They did it the
some of
Saturday
our favorite
before.
people, and they
Amazing people. They did it Saturday last week and said, "Hey, you know what? We'll do it again next Friday."
and
No pressure.
it was crazy seeing the
pressure.
looks in their eyes
They were geeking
as
out.
they were like literally like they were transcending. It was a beautiful thing to watch.
They geeked out.
It was like
And
it
especially on
it
your
reminded
wine.
me
What
of
was
us.
that white wine you did?
That Crow's Hermitage.
The Crow's Hermitage.
Blanc. It was a white Crow's Hermitage.
He totally geeked out on that in the pairing. Those
And
were the lobster.
I didn't
yeah.
see that one coming. I didn't see people.
Well, that
getting
was the one. This was had to be rewarding for you, Ed, because that was the one you were the most worried about.
I was worried about it
It was all you talked about.
because I loved it. I loved it, and I'm like, I don't think.
But
they're
it
gonna
was
get
such a big wine, like aside from food. I mean, so if you didn't play your cards right, you were terrified. I mean, you were so worried about that. It ended up being everybody's favorite.
because we were like, let's just do a Chardonnay, but the dish needed something wild and wacky.
Well, you nailed it. But what was so great is, of all that lineup, I mean that ridiculous lineup.
How about that?
That's what people
Beaujolais though.
buy out. I geeked out on the Beaujolais.
Yeah, that was nice.
Because that was tremendous. Well, and that's what's so funny when you break out a Beaujolais. People are like, "What?" And then you explain it. And you go through the thing, and it's but it didn't drink like a Beaujolais. That was that you could lay that thing down.
I agree.
I mean, that was a structured acid big time wine. You could lay that thing down. I mean, it was surprisingly unctuous.
That's a great description. Yep.
It was a great wine.
Well,
Great pairing.
we in other words, folks, we like wine and we like
we geek out on
we
this
geek
stuff.
out on wine and we do a lot of wines every single week. So with that being said,
For you.
we do it for you. With that being said, if you have gift needs, if you want to turn someone on to some wines, if you want to turn someone into drinking wine, we have different styles of wine. We're happy to set you up with gift baskets and things of that nature. We've had so many inquiries. I've ordered, by the way, Chef, don't get sticker shock when the orders come in tomorrow because I ordered a bunch of wine. There's so many people asking for Christmas wines. We're probably gonna have our own truck come
You're
up
going
down
to
there.
sell them, right?
Oh, they're already sold.
All right, we're good.
But
But I'll still give you a hard time.
yeah, you will. So it's
I'm going to get carpal tunnel writing those checks.
yeah. There's so many people that have reached out
That's
this
tremendous.
year that are really there's this little transition that people go through about first they learn about wine and they get excited about it, but then there's something that turns in people that they want to share it and you have to educate the person that you're sharing it with or they're not going to get it. You can't give someone
You got to have a story.
you got to. I mean, I think there has to be some context for the wine that you give them. Otherwise, they're not going to really get the heart of the gift that you give them. So, obviously,
Yeah, I mean, leaving the sticker on it doesn't tell the story.
that's true. But we have a connection here between our guests and the tasting and you at home, and you should have that with the people that you care about. This should not be a to B situation. It should be a B, C, D. We should be sharing these things.
Should H be in there?
It should eventually. You got to get
How
down.
about an S?
Let's keep rolling.
Now let's do it.
Let's keep going all the way. So share your love and share the information that you've been able to acquire. And remember that you too at one point didn't know crap about wine and were excited about learning about it and anxious about it and a little nervous about it. And remember that those people are
What
too.
am I going to do about
Yeah.
this? Yeah.
This is not a pretentious thing, and I hate that people out there think that wine is pretentious. It's not. It's just that there's different people at different levels, and we just need to we need to open our arms and let people come in at their own pace.
I'll tell you, I converted a wine drinker the other day.
Did you
I was
really?
at the doctor, and the lady was, I don't know, the assistant. I don't know I don't want to be disrespectful, but I don't know what the proper title was. And was like, oh, you're at the winery. And I was down in Winston. She goes, I want to like wine so bad, but I don't know where to start. And I'm like, well, what do you drink? She goes, I like Mai Tais and things like that. Well,
Tropical,
I'm
yeah.
like, tropical. I was like, that's easy. You start with a little Riesling because you like a sweeter cocktail.
Yeah.
I said, don't do the muscadines. Just go ahead and start with something, a sweet white wine. I said, maybe even a Pinot Grigio, a Riesling, something fun. I said,
Yeah, those are very tropical.
And I said, you can even do something to them. I'm like, you can even put a little ice or a mixer in with it.
Yeah. kind of wean
into it. Because what you don't want to do is, I think one of the hardest things to people who want to try wine but don't like wine or don't know what to like is to hit them with a bunch of rules.
Yeah.
You gotta make it fun. Mix it with something. Put this in there. Have a sangria. Have a this and that, and work your way up. What you don't want to do is lose them on the front door.
I totally agree, Chef.
And you'll get there. We all got there. Who didn't? I mean, God,
It's not a race.
It's not a race, and we're not snobs. And it's not about.
I think the worst thing in the world too is to alienate people from something it's so communal.
It's communal.
I mean, there's no beverage.
Who cares what you drink?
There's no beverage in the world like wine to bring people together.
It brings everybody together, and it keeps them together.
It does. And so why would you alienate people for that beverage when the beverage is designed to bring people together? And especially here at the holiday season, it's the perfect time to turn people onto one.
Well, it's the perfect time to put 6 different wines on the table and let's have a night.
Well, yeah, get to it.
There's something for you, something for you, something for us, and and I love it when they're drinking that. That leaves more of this. That leaves more Malbec for us.
That is so true. Well, this video, I'm sure, is way too long.
Oh yeah, it's.
But I do appreciate everybody.
It's going to take 3 days to load.
I appreciate everybody hanging in there, and I want to thank St. Combe for producing such a wonderful, unbelievable. I mean, with their incredible high level of winemaking, and still able to give us great value.
Throw a gem like that out.
And Mr. Hobbs.
Cheers to you, sir.
I mean, this sings to Chris and I both for an area that we think is so important to be held up and held in high regard. And thank you for holding Malbec to its roots.
And while we've been yapping, this has gotten even better.
Yeah, the tannins are sneaky too.
Oh my goodness!
The tannins are building up.
It's a different wine already.
But hey, everybody, we got another tasting. We're gonna do a Christmas Eve tasting.
It's going to be so much fun. Christmas Eve.
Yep, Christmas Eve. And then, of course, we'll have one at the week after, which is like, what is that, 29th, 30th, something like that.
It's Christmas, it's New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve, that's correct. Mm-hmm. And so we have a couple of great tastings coming up. If you can't be here in person, make sure you get your pickup. And also, one other thing, I know this video is incredibly long. But Chef,
we need a commercial.
Are you not planning some food for carry out?
Lots.
For Christmas stuff, New Year's stuff?
Yeah, keep an eye out for that. But at the same time, don't just call and say, this is what I want, make it for me, Chef. And yes, okay.
Hey, I appreciate everybody, and we'll see you next week.
We look forward to it. Give us a call, we'll take care of it. Thanks.